I believe that Rhodes must fall. And when I say Rhodes must fall, it's not just speaking of the name of the trust or the name of the home in Oxford, or just the statue presently at Oriel College, but is the entire system of colonialism, control, and white supremacy that Cecil Rhodes was an active part of the British Empire's expansion into Southern Africa. And so, in supporting the movement for Rhodes to fall, I support much more than just the tearing down of a statue, but really fundamentally a fundamental structural change in the way that British society works, in the way that British society interacts with its former colonies, and the ways that formerly colonized countries in this world and peoples of the global south, and particularly of the African diaspora, are treated and resourced around the world.
But you did benefit from the Rhodes Scholarship. Is that something you regret now?
No, I don't regret it. And specifically, it's because I identify as a Black woman. My grandmother was a sharecropper. Her grandfather was a slave in Mississippi. And so for me to be the great granddaughter of Mississippi cotton slaves, to be now earning my third master's degree at the University of Oxford, in the name of a man who didn't believe that women, and especially not Black or African women, had the mental or physical capability to be intellectuals. And so I don't feel that I regret taking the scholarship. However, I do feel that taking the title of Rhodes Scholar, that in my home country of the United States is bestowed as a great academic honor, that taking that title comes with a social justice requirement. And though I am an activist, originally I didn't see myself as a Rhodes Scholar, but the more I began to interact with other scholars and the current administration of the trust, they made it very clear that me standing up for Black people, standing up for what I believe in and fighting for justice is a part of the mantle of being a Rhodes Scholar. And so I feel no shame or confusion in simultaneously identifying as a Rhodes Scholar and believing that Rhodes must fall.
So you think that the funding that goes with the Rhodes name in Oxford should continue, even if the statue should go?
So here's it's important to understand the context of how the trust works currently to respond to this question. So the original bequeathal from Cecil Rhodes, the vast majority of those funds are now gone. So the vast majority of the funds that are currently funding scholarships and Rhodes programming in Oxford is funded by new donations that have come in since the trust was established. With that being said, that most of the monies in circulation now are not those that Cecil Rhodes stole from the people of Southern Africa. However, though, that in the long run, having a scholarship, a trust, a house, a statue, and these other entities in the name of Cecil Rhodes does work to leave a positive legacy for a genocidal capitalist who put his pursuit of profit and the profit of his home country, the United Kingdom, above the lives and humanity of African people.
And Chelsea, just to pick up very briefly on that, because obviously that it's very welcome for many that history is now, everyone's being reminded of history here and across the world. But we've heard from Graça Machel saying, in a way, these statues serve to keep re-educating people, and so maybe the statue should continue. And Mandela set up his foundation, reaching out as a bridge, really, to try and unite people.
So I want to address the purpose of statues, and to be very clear, as a person who's been a student in Oxford for 2 years, I've never walked past Oriel College and ever heard anyone talking about the colonial legacy of Cecil Rhodes until the Rhodes Must Fall protests. I've never walked into Rhodes House, and where I went frequently, and saw or engaged with anything that engaged the negative, murderous, or genocidal history of Cecil Rhodes. So I want to be clear that when we see statues and we see these other things, yes, it points to history, but pointing to history is not the same as analyzing or dealing with history. And the reality of a statue is it literally immortalizes someone in bronze or gold. It puts them on a literal pedestal in our community and says that this person's name and likeness will never die.
Okay.
It doesn't
I think
history. It shows who the examples are.
Okay, Chelsea Jackson, I think we have very much got that point. Thank you very much for your time.
We will make America great again.